Okay, so today we're really going to look at how do we write out and design an experiment. So the past 2 days we sort of went through and looked at what does a good experimental design look like. Now we're going to actually put it to the test. So today we're going to do 2 experiments to kind of describing them full out. So our first example, the Salem Math Department is considering buying a set of SAT prep books. They want to determine if the books help improve the SAT scores of students who use them more than the free materials they already currently use. There are 100 students who have requested SAT math prep books. So what are some possible extraneous factors that we have to consider? Well, how often the students will study. So maybe we tell them to study a certain amount of time per day or per month or per however long we're going to wait. How good they are at math or at the SAT. So maybe we have them take a pre-test and then we have them take a post-test. The grade they are in. Maybe that they've already studied for the SAT. Maybe that they're, freshmen versus sophomores. Would it be a good idea to give all 100 students the new books? Why or why not? Again, no. We need a control group to compare to. Okay. So now let's design the experiment. So again, just like we did with sampling techniques, we want to write it out so that if somebody were to take our answer, they could do this process. Okay? So first thing you want to do before we do anything is have them take some sort of pretest or measure something. So if you're doing the pulse rate thing versus caffeine, measure their initial pulse rate. Since we're doing an SAT, we're going to have all students take a practice SAT and record the results. So right away we have that pre-test done. Okay, so now I want to split them up into 2 groups, and I'm going to give stuff to each group. So how do I split them up into 2 groups? Very similar to sampling. So I'm going to assign each student a number from 1 to 100 using a random number generator. Select 50 numbers, ignoring repeats. And those students will be in group 1. The remaining students will be in group 2. Okay, so we have a pretest. They're split into 2 groups. Now I need to assign a treatment from each group. So because I have 2 groups, I'm going to flip a coin. Now, flip a coin to assign treatments. So you need to be specific. Tell me what happens with heads. Tell me what happens with tails. If heads, group 1 gets the new SAT books. If tails, group 2 gets the new SAT books. All students will receive the free materials. So that's kind of like our control there. We're not giving just the free materials to one group. We're going to give them to all groups. So that way if there's a SAT change, we know that it comes from the new books and not just the free materials. Okay, so now each group has stuff. So now we want to wait. So your wait time will depend on what you're doing in your experiment. Here we're studying for the SAT. So I'm not going to wait 6 months. Not going to wait a week. Let's kind of go in between. After 3 months, give another practice SAT and compare the results of the two groups. Probably give them the same or one similar. So now you've written your first experiment. It's a lot, but remember, if I give this to you on a test, I'm only going to give you one. So let's try another one. The University of Michigan volleyball coaches recognize the importance of conditioning for the success of their team. They think having players take a certain multivitamin supplement will improve the stamina of the players. There are 20 players on the team, and the strength and conditioning coach has already assessed each player's stamina on a scale of 1 to 10. So that's our pretest, so we don't have to do another one. So describe an experiment that could assess the value of a supplement. So instead of doing assigning a number and doing a random number generator, I'm going to show you how to do the slips of paper in case you want to end up doing that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to write each player's name on the same size slip of paper. Oops. Put the 20 slips in a hat. Mix them up. That's very important that you write that. Mix them up. Then select 10 slips without replacement. That's kind of like the ignoring repeats. These players are in group 1. The remaining are in group 2. Okay. Now, if you're doing a bigger group besides 20, it is acceptable. People have written out, put the slips of paper in a bathtub and mix them up, or a bowl and mix them up. It doesn't necessarily have to be a hat. But the mixing them up is important to put in there. Okay, so now to assign the multivitamins, I'm going to, again, flip a coin because it's the easiest. We'll get into not flipping a coin tomorrow. So flip a coin. If heads, group 1 gets the supplement. If tails, group 2 gets the supplement. The other group will receive a placebo pill. So in this one, it's important that you have some sort of placebo because you are giving them a pill of some sort. Okay, so again, now we want to wait. We're looking at stamina. So I would say, again, after 2 months, have the coach assess each player again period, compare the change in stamina. So, why would it be important to use a placebo for this experiment? Again, so that the experiment doesn't favor one group over the other. We want to make sure that there is no placebo effect. Okay, everybody should still be taking some sort of vitamin, whether it's a placebo or the actual multivitamin that they want. What role would blinding play in this experiment? Okay, so this probably could be a single blind, right? The players and the coach don't know which supplement is which. Obviously, if the coach knows, he may favor one group over the other, so it's important that the coach doesn't know. You could double blind this. Again, the players and the coach are one group, and the people analyzing the data don't know. The only people who would know would be the University of Michigan. Okay, so maybe the University of Michigan says, yes, the supplement did end up making a difference. So, but the players and the coaches would be considered one group. So we did a couple today. We'll do a couple more tomorrow. But again, you just kind of want to make sure that you are writing it so that if somebody took this experimental design, they could do everything that they're asking you to do. The biggest thing people usually get marked off with is they forget to ignore repeats, or they're not specific enough with what happens if heads shows up, if tails show up, or they don't do a pretest. So think about all those things as you're writing everything out.